Thank you for joining us again. Talking about NEC devolving its powers to the NWC, that's the National Working Committee, as the APC plans its primaries, which is, of course, about 40 days' time in May. And we still have with us Ziggy Ibe talking about, just before the break, I was talking about the issue of this NEC dissolving into the National Working Committee, which is, of course, constitutionally okay, according to the APC constitution. But if you look at all of the issues coming up with the APC, the fact that they are not yet clear on the zoning, their primaries is just about 40 days, do you see any internal crisis brewing in the APC?
And I was building up to a thought that in every large house, there certainly will be skirmishes. Those skirmishes are in preparation to accommodate issues as they come. Yeah, certainly there will be issues, and why NEC decide to transmit power to the National Working Committee is for them to be able to take the issues as they come. Okay, because right now they are really in position to settle party issues. And don't forget, what we're having is party affair. So the party crisis, party disquiet, and all other issues as they come certainly will be settled by the organs set up to carry the job. Certainly, I'm sure the party have a way of resolving their differences. That's what I see. The time given, 30...
about, yes.
90 days?
Yeah, 90 days, 3 months, certainly might be enough for the party to put their issues at stake and go properly into the election. Okay, and in days to come, we are going to have more directives from the organ, you know, to their members on what to do and or what not to do. What we are looking at now is the zoning. The issue of zoning has been set aside before. It's been southeast and south-south, then southwest. Okay, that is the arrangement of zoning. But when primary comes, which is next month, we're going to have these two regions, two to three regions participate in the primaries of the party. Okay, and that is when the real politicking starts. What we are still having is internal arrangement of the party, getting towards ready for the meeting other oppositions in the poll.
But does it raise any awareness or any kind of suspicion with you, looking at the fact that about 10 of the national or 10 of the APC aspirants, 10 of the APC party members,
yes,
are aspiring for the position of the president, the vice president Yemi Osinbajo,
is there,
the Kayode Fayemi, the governor Amechi is there. Does it raise any suspicion?
The suspicion is just by next month. Okay, the whole of this will be laid to rest, because certainly one person among all these people will be chosen as will be elected, you know, when they go to their primary poll to choose just who would front them for the presidential ticket.
Do you see that as an easy task, considering the fact that most of these people are big guns?
I've said it before. It's not going to be easy. And it wouldn't be served a la carte. It wouldn't, okay, because they are going to properly go into electioneering. The delegates will be there, then test their popularity. Okay, it's more of testing their popularity, who the public would actually say, okay, this is who we want.
You know, some people have also said that it may be some form of business for these people, because when it comes to you showing your interest in running the presidential race, and then somebody, you know, comes and says, okay, let's form what's called a consensus, and let's decide that this is the person we want. There must be some form of compensation for those who would have to step down. And so they're saying, isn't this some kind of business or some kind of money-making venture for some of these people?
Electioneering in Nigeria, every 4 year cycle, has always been monetarily compensated to certain group of people. Okay, you and I have been here, and in elections in the past, is a jamboree. Okay, so the jamboree in the sense that those who perform or those who participate in the electioneering, so to say, will certainly would have something to go home with. Yes, they will throw their hat in. They've thrown their hat into the ring, and how much is the form? 100 million naira. You and I cannot say
that's of course a conversation.
Okay, so for anyone who should be able to cover such amount of money, certainly will have a very deep pocket. Okay, and because they are big guns and money bags, certainly they will have their way. Then it becomes who has more money than the other, because election in Nigeria is money backed.
Sadly,
we don't deceive ourselves. It's monetarily backed. So it is who has more money to really curry the love or the support of those who are coming to vote.
Well, you talked earlier about, the NWC taking charge of the internal matters to resolve whatever crisis, occurs within the party within that 90-day scheme. And you said from next month, the politicking itself starts for the primaries. But looking at the fact that there are even reports in the media about, the mode of primary not yet decided, be it direct primaries or indirect, do you think that in itself will form a bit of crisis, considering it looks like it favors one, aspirant over the other?
From the body languages of the president and all we've read, it's certainly going to be indirect primary. Okay? It's only we've not officially heard it's going to be indirect, but no consensus candidate is made open. That is made open. So nobody is going to be picked
Yes.
to represent the party. Okay? Go there, test your popularity with the people, and get chosen
But do
by
you
them.
Sorry to butt in. Do you think that's the right way to go? Why not leave it open
Every
for
party,
a direct
every party decides their own selective arrangement. It's not by you and I. If they said, okay, this is the way we want to go, like PDP is talking now that they want a consensus candidate, meaning all those who are jostling for these positions will come together and say, okay, we appoint you based on your popularity. So it goes. So Nigerians don't decide that it is a party affair. What we are getting now is purely party affair. Okay? If PDP had chosen to go by consensus, that is just for them. If APC had done so, but APC for now, that is in the news, is that they are not going for consensus candidates. They want to do either direct or indirect. But the way we are looking at is going to be indirect, because the power is going to be divested back to party members, meaning that you go, let all the people choose who they want to. That's the way APC, I'm sure.
But wouldn't that negate the resolution to zone it to the south? Because eventually, if you go by indirect primaries and then the person who emerges is not from the south, wouldn't that...
No, certainly. I've said earlier, we've heard this earlier. APC had zoned its presidential ticket to the south.
That's what I just said.
But now, we are looking at, is it going to be southwest, southeast, south-south? Okay? These three regions are ready to participate in it, so which is still in tandem with their earlier arrangement that no northern candidate would participate. That's all.
In the primaries?
In the primaries.
Oh, okay.
From all we're having now, from all the presidential aspirants, no northern person has come up. No one. From APC, no one. Not yet known to me. So, and that tells you that earlier arrangement is still being withheld or being sustained. The three regions are participating. Anybody from these three regions is accepted by the party. And once that is done, is going to
Where would
decide
you place,
what zone it comes from?
Yes.
where would you place the aspiration of the incumbent governor of Kogi State in terms of regions? Is that southwest, south-south, or southeast?
I think that goes against...
Middle belt?
I think that that middle belt is part of north. Is that middle belt is part of north.
Yes.
But we are looking
Not
at
central.
that might not favorably be disposed to him.
Okay.
Okay. But it is his choice. It is his choice. If he decides to go against the party rules, that's fine. Okay, but then what will happen now is that at a point it's going to be very clear to him that the party said no one comes from that region.
But Adamu Garba is also contesting,
I'm not
isn't
sure.
he? He has also declared. Why are you laughing? He already also showed interest.
Yes,
That's someone from the north.
If a party says this is what we want, anybody can go against that rule. I don't think there's.
I'm reacting to what you said. That you've not seen anyone come out from the north.
Okay, I don't think there's punishment to that because it is your personal decision, and you have all the wherewithals and all the clouds to restore power and all that. So, but then don't forget, some of these people have their own choices too by leaving the party. Okay, join another party to seek their
ambition,
their
political ambition.
So that's just it.
So do you see that happening, especially for people like Yaya Bello?
Definitely. You and I know that closer to that time, we begin to see movement. Alignment and realignment certainly will happen.
But right now, if we're going to have a third force, sorry to butt in, shouldn't that have started before now? Because we saw what happened when Jonathan was going to be taken out of office.
So many third forces are coming up already. We have
NNPP.
NNPP.
Yes, but I'm saying that most of them just came up this year. If I'm correct, if I'm wrong, am I wrong?
You are right.
Most of them just came up this
we
year.
We had one in the past, obviously Kweslanko. Then we have another one with coming together of about 3-4 political parties by Mogalo, okay, Sowore, and a few other groups. It was later didn't work. Then some other group came up. That's
I'm talking about a functional, active.
What do you call functional?
Right
when the members, those who formed this, couldn't maybe go by their rules. It is not in the purview of you and I to know how they've gone about. But as I'm speaking to you, we still have either third, fourth, or fifth force coming up together, and you don't rule out that. Political parties certainly get registered even 3 months to election.
Yes, but I'm just
the
saying
only thing is that if INEC would register them, but don't forget, in the past we have certain what's it called? Ojun Zokalo's party that won a governorship candidate for his state, Abia State. The man who succeeded Ojun Zokalo.
Theodore.
Yeah, Theodore. Theodore joined Ojun Zokalo when he formed a newly, what is it called? I've forgotten the name. Okay. So it is allowed. Certainly we are going to have all those. Because it's part of politicking. It's part of looking for avenues to engender your own political...
I'm just saying, are we going to see a strong third force like we saw before the 2015 elections?
I was seeing it. It is the seriousness of those who formed it. So it's not in the purview of you and I to know whether they are going to be serious or not. Because Patu Tomi...
But the signs were there before
Patu Tomi already is there. Kwankwazi or something, they are already gearing up to something similar. Okay, but I am saying towards that time we are going to have a lot of all these people trying to move from one party to another. Some parties that must have rejected them, they will seek their own opinion or option too by forming a new party. It's very possible, but then it is INEC's job to now register them if INEC feels okay with their own makeup.
How strong would a third force start? A third force which is starting 3 months to election. How strong would that be?
won an election 3 months to
we're talking about the major, most important election in the country, the presidential election.
It is not in your purview to know this. It is when the groups who form this third force forms it, and did not say, okay, this is the way we are going to go. The electioneering thing is the strength of those who are involved in it. Presidential election is not a tea party affair. So it's a very serious business. And if any third force is coming up or fourth force is coming up and said, okay, let's try all we could to wrestle power from the existing political parties, who knows?
Okay.
All we do is to wish them Godspeed.
Okay, let's bring this back home, you know, the APC. Beyond, you know, the leadership crisis that has rocked the party over the past few months and what have you, the issue of the nomination forms, the cost, that those who claim it's a means of disenfranchising others, what do you make of that?
In election in Nigeria, certain individuals have always been disenfranchised by not being able to participate, by way of wherewithals, by way of resources, maybe distance and all that. But then it is electioneering time. Not too young to run was passed sometime last year. What that tells us is that the younger ones are allowed. The younger ones in that bracket are allowed to run or allowed to participate politically. And because the environment is so monetarily slippery, the youths we are talking about would even have the clouds monetarily to survive the political terrain. Okay, now it's been pegged for like how much money from the interest form is 30 million. The other one is 70,000. That's the nomination form, 70 million. How many youths can have that? Automatically and naturally, they've been disenfranchised. Automatically. Because one, they can't afford such amount of money. Are you talking about youths who don't even have house of their own or can't even afford the 3 square meals in a day, the feeding pattern? So looking at the whole of this arrangement, Nigeria's situation has always been elitist. Okay? Like you read in the news, APC had given reason why they peg it that way. So that those who weren't serious, and if you want to analyze that we aren't serious, what does that tell you?
But let me come in there. You said the youth cannot afford 100 million naira. Who are the people?
Automatically,
who are the people who can afford it? If you look at
the elites,
who are the people who are supposed to be able to afford 100 million naira without raising questions from the ICPC and the EFCC?
The elites can afford it without a blink of an eye. The political class, those who are politically exposed, can afford it without looking back. And their cronies, their friends, they can afford it because they reward them with contracts when they are there and all that. So if you look at the election in Nigeria, for speaking frankly, it is not for children. It's not really. See, I've said it. I'm coming up.
Okay.
I've said it a million times in so many fora. Until we start an option of independent candidacy, a situation where somebody will be thrown up by the strength of the public. Do you understand? At that point, buying of forms can never be as much as that. But until such happens, it is not you and I to participate in an elections that are so exorbitant. It is high.
But you say that the political elites should be able to afford 100 million.
Yes.
Isn't that highly monetizing elections? And wouldn't that also make them already want to go into the position with the aim of recouping the money that they've spent?
Okay. Maybe you didn't know, and I'll tell you. In the past, we've had corruption saddle with us or stayed with us for only God knows when. Where forms sold at the same time, at the same price now, they are telling that this is being taken to a different level. They are only confirming what you know, that this is not a joke. That election in Nigeria is never a joke. So these are things you and I know from a start, that for you to participate in an election, you either must have a godfather, someone who will sponsor you, or you have the money yourself, or a group comes together to help you engender such a option.
Ambition.
But this was the same President Muhammad Buhari that condemned the a little over 22.7 million naira, which was put the price for the nomination form in 2014.
Yes.
The same president who condemned it is now saying that, yeah, the form, of course, he's not the one who even decides the amount.
Is the leader of the party.
Is the leader of the party, and the party said this is what you want, and they've given you reason. What was their reason? They said inflation affected so many of the materials or so many things they have been doing. Okay? That gives you reason to think that, look, this is not how we started this. Okay? And like you said, they want people to be disenfranchised because they don't want infantile participation. So it is just like that, and they don't care how you feel.
But we see Huriwa also saying that the EFCC and ICPC should probe whoever is able to purchase that 100 million naira.
Until then, just yesterday, somebody had signed a check for Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the form. So until then, until EFCC picks up the person, they will not know that such talks are workable.
Okay, looking at it, for a president who will probably pride himself in, having the bill, the not too young to run bill passed into law during his tenure, isn't this a mockery of that law in question, considering the fact that as a result of the cost of nomination, the youths are disenfranchised automatically?
I wrote something on my timeline recently, and I said, since that bill was passed into law, and issues like this came up, where are the youths that will pick up their strength, take up this challenge, either occupy National Assembly, disagreeing or disapproving the cost of the forms, or write a strong message, something that will make the youth to really be
little or no effect. We've seen that in time past.
Have they done it now? Let's have it now.
They've not done it now, but we've seen how that ended in time past. From occupying Nigeria, just to butt in, from occupying Nigeria when the previous president had to send in soldiers to clear off protesters, to your NSAS protest, to several Bring Back Our Girls movements where you had very heavily armed forces. All of these occupy the National Assembly and all hasn't worked.
When agitation stopped, some people gained from it. Agitation is a continuous exercise. For you to gain something or get something in Nigeria, you must make noise about it.
Has ASU's agitations that have continued over the years,
but they are feeling the heat,
resulted in
yes, but they are feeling the heat.
If the federal government is feeling the heat,
which one is better? Is it the ASU to keep quiet and not going on strike, or intermittently go on strike to really press home their demand? Let me tell you the issues I have with ASU.
Okay.
ASU like going on strike and don't complete their strike. If I am demanding to have this cup given to me, I must press home my demand until this cup is given to me, and I will not retreat. ASU will always retreat, and that's why they've been accused of complacency. Do you understand? If ASU should go on strike, let it be total. Let it be total until you are not when you are giving some blanket promises and you back down. Next month or two, you begin to make noise again. That's why ASU's leadership cannot be as strong as it's supposed to be, because they have not really made their demands known.
Just to butt in now, so you have the utmost conviction that if the youths occupy various states' houses of assembly or national assembly, that the cost of this nomination for
it might not be the cost. So many other requests, so many other demands will be met, because we have to really talk to. Look, when you are in a situation where you are not being heard, what do? You shout. If you shout, you are not being heard, you make more noise. And we're in a country where until you shout or until you complain of a pain, nobody listens to you.
All right.
So what you do is to make sure you keep shouting.
But you said earlier that it's only the elites and the
No, we are talking about the form. Yes,
I understand that can afford it. Now the question is, you know, the data is out there that even the cost of the nomination form is more than the president and vice president's salaries for the 4 years.
I read a place yesterday. You know, I don't know how true is it that they've slashed the cost of the nomination form to half, to 50% for those below 40. I don't know how true that is. Okay, but then it is very basic. It's a basic understanding that when election comes like this, the elites don't think of those they call the youth, because it has always been deceit most times. It has never been honoring an agreement or honoring an earlier arrangement. So it has never been. And so what do I expect they used to do? How many can they kill? Yes, you've given instances of when they were
bring back our girls
and all that, but they keep doing it. How many can they kill?
So they should keep risking their lives.
No, I'm not said so. But what I'm saying is, if you are not being heard, let me tell you what I feel the problem is. Basically, is the youth have not really formed a nexus. They've not really formed a front at which they will look at and be negotiated with. Yeah, you talk about NSAS. Who did they negotiate with? NSAS was a collection or a coming together for so many youths, but they were called to negotiate with. There was no block of the people who were coming for that protest. So what are we saying? Government might not want to listen to individuals. They might want to listen to a group of people. So coming together of these people, okay, what is even wrong if the youth should even come together and form a political party? What about that?
There are several youth political parties.
Name them.
We have the...
there was the YPP, Youth Progressive Party.
How many are there? How many youths are there?
Well, you had quite a handful of them. Senator Ifeanyi Ubah was a member of that party as well.
Ifeanyi Ubah is not even a youth, given by our calculation here.
I understand
that. It's about 50. Okay? How many youths are there? So what you are saying is that really nudging and interrogating the powers that be. When we are serious in doing things, if you look at my bracket and all that, I tend to belong partly to the youth. Why have we been talking? We talk so that, do you know that sometimes how many youths even make use of the social media to interrogate and nudge the powers today? So until you form such a nexus, until you form such a block of people, when I tell you you have to occupy the National Assembly, it's not going to be one person, but call for that now, if they will go.
Because
it's a party affair, and you can't occupy a federal parastatal for a party affair.
Let the youth form a party. So Sowore is more of a youth. How many people belong to this thing? YPP you mentioned. How many youths in Nigeria even have
a party's card membership?
No.
PVC.
So these are our problems. We need to really know what we want and go for it. It is so dangerous once you don't have a direction or a goal. When you have a goal, your eyes will be on the ball and you just set for it. Okay. Many youths in Nigeria don't even have PVC. Now, let me tell you what I did recently. I went to where, this PVC update, and I look at the arrangement. All I see there were elderly men and women. The youths were playing ball somewhere. Why do you think the northern elites are having upper hand in what we are doing today? Because all their people have a voting card and all that.
All right, we have to
coming to south, coming to southwest, coming to southeast and all that. Youths don't care about elections.
Thank you, Mr.
So let's begin to to lay this to bay and bring out the troubles.
All right, we'll just rest the matter there. Thank you so much. We hope that the youth would wake up to their responsibilities.
It's our job to keep talking.
We've been speaking with Mr. Zigibe, public affairs analyst, and we've been looking at these issues surrounding the APC primaries coming up in the next 40 days. We'll take a break now. When we come back, the conversation continues. We'll be right back.